We continue our examination of the events of Hudaibiyyah, that very important treaty in the life of the Prophet ﷺ. And we have now reached the significant event of Bayat Ridwan, or Bayat al-Shajara, that allegiance which the companions did with the Prophet ﷺ before the treaty. Now when you examine this allegiance, you find that interestingly, women were present at the allegiance of Ridwan. And this indicates that the Prophet ﷺ gave prominence to women. Their stance counted. They were not treated as second-class citizens like they were in Arabia and many other parts of the world. Women were active players, and their faith was appreciated by the religion of Islam. And so the Prophet took their allegiance. Now, mind you that this happened 13 centuries before universal suffrage was granted to women here in this country. Exactly 100 years ago, women had the right to vote here in this country. Whereas 13 centuries ago, the Prophet ﷺ wanted women to have a political role, wanted women to also be part of the bay'ah, to be part of the community who pledges allegiance with the Prophet ﷺ. And so this is extremely significant. We also see how brave and heroic these women were. They pledged to protect the Prophet and sacrificed their lives for them. So we have one historical account from Urwa ibn Masood, and he said this to Quraysh. When he went to Quraysh to tell them how the Muslims were, he said, Wallah, لَقَدْ رَأَيْتُ مَعَهُ نِسَاءً. I swear by God. He's saying to the pagans of Mecca, take this man seriously, take the Prophet seriously. I saw with him women, مَا كُنَّ لِيُسَلِّمْنَهُ عَلَى حَالٍ. The woman would never submit him to you, let alone the men. Meaning even the women are so committed to the path of Islam, they're willing to defend the Prophet ﷺ. Now we know that jihad is not wajib on women, right? Like it is on men to go out and fight in the battlefield. But there is a disagreement among scholars. Are they allowed to fight or no? A number of scholars understand that it's not permissible for women to fight in the battlefield. It's not appropriate. Other scholars state it depends. If it's a difa'i jihad, defensive jihad, where you're attacked and the imam of your time or the prophet of your time is being attacked, yes, a Muslim woman can defend the Prophet ﷺ. So let's say you see the imam of your time or the prophet of your time almost being killed, and you have proper access to defend the Prophet ﷺ in the battlefield. So these scholars say, yes, women can defend the Prophet ﷺ. Women can defend the imam in these circumstances. But generally speaking, most scholars say no, women should not go to jihad. Because, for them to fight men in the battlefield, it's not appropriate. It compromises maybe their dignity, it compromises their honor, and Allah does not want to put women in that situation, especially when they could be even abused in the battlefield. But the point is, the Prophet invited women to pledge allegiance at Hudaybiyyah, to be participants in Bayat Ridwan. And they were women who were committed to defend the Prophet ﷺ. Now you might wonder, how was the bay'ah taken from the woman? We know that the men, how would they pledge allegiance? They would shake hands. How would the woman give allegiance? At Ghadir, it was through water. But at the bay'ah of Ridwan in Hudaybiyyah, it was in a different way. Al-Shaykh al-Mufid narrates this. He states, وَكَانَ أَمِيرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ الْمُبَايِعْ لِلنِّسَاءِ عَنِ النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ. Basically, Shaykh al-Mufid says this is how the bay'ah happened. A piece of cloth was held by Imam Ali. He was holding a piece of cloth. The woman would touch this piece of cloth. Instead of shaking hands, They would basically wipe, touch this piece of cloth. And the Prophet would touch the clothes of Imam Ali alayhi salam closest to that cloth. So Imam Ali is directly holding the cloth. And then the Prophet would touch the garment of Imam Ali that was closest to this piece of cloth. And this is how they gave the bay'ah to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. So women did have a role in Bayat Ridwan.